Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the AlphaX Brawlers Club at Best of 5. Two names storied throughout StarCraft 2 history, playing professionally for over half of Max Pax's life. Let me introduce, from Wings of Liberty Championship tier and now scratching and clawing his way back, it is Dong Ray Gu. I believe he's named after his hometown, is where the name comes from. So not, I mean, I don't have a lot of room to talk here, but could be more original. He loves his Zerglings, he loves his Banelings, and maybe a little too much. But we'll see. We're up against another hard-working player. Someone who might not be the best microer, the best macroer, but he has the tenacity, the perseverance, and just the, yeah, I'm gonna say it, grit to beat the best. Of course, the people's Terran. It is Cure. I have no idea who's favored here. Like, Cure continually manages expectations of his play. For every series, he takes down a Zest or a Dark or even like a Trap or Zest. I said Zest twice because I have any opportunity. God, such Freudian slips. Anyway, he mixes and matches with a game or a series where we start to question whether he handed the keyboard to his younger brother. But that is just how Cure be. A focus on smart decision-making, good positioning, and then fumbling the micro so hard he ends up in a terrible spot. DRG, I would say, is a little more of a free spirit. Like, he obviously knows what he's about. He knows what he likes. And he's always liked Zerglings and Banelings. And back in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, Mutalisks were the choice. I'd love to see more. I always love to see more Mutas. I hope we'll see some throughout this series, but they are a risky and fragile choice, especially if you're not confident you can... Oh, whoa, Cure coming in! I thought he was another four-letter Terran starting with C. But, no. I wrecked my brain for anyone but Clem to be clever, but I'm sure there has been. Cran. Nope. I don't... What? Meanwhile, 3 command centers for Cure back at home. The Gold and Grandmaster Standard. Oh, Cham. Thing. Oh, yes. Clam. How could I forget? So many more options. Cure, it looks like... I'd love to see some mech. Not necessarily the map for it, but that hasn't stopped players in the past. Cure is just a marine tank player. Like, he's like soft serve vanilla with fancy sprinkles. Every once in a while he'll come up with something clever, but most of the time he knows what he likes. And it is game 1 of a best of 5. The Brawlers Club might not be the highest profile tournament, but there's a good chunk of change on the line. And both these players, these are not going to be just ladder builds. And also, to be honest, there's not any huge tournaments coming up, at least for a couple months, as we just had the World Finals, which neither of these players really did as well as they hoped. Well, DRG wasn't there, and also Cure ended up getting knocked out of the group stage, heartbreakingly. If you haven't watched my cast of that, you can pause. It's all right. Like, subscribe, pause, open up another tab. You're probably... I mean, you could be on your phone. You guys have phones. But you're probably not on your phone, statistically, so... But go watch Cure and Dream just manhandle each other. Get all up in each other's bases and business. And then... I did kind of spoil how it ends, but it's worth the journey. Well, Cure actually built how many Hellion? 8 Hellions. But it is bio behind it. It is going to be Marines. The mainstay, the staple, the core of most Terran strategies for now 24 years of StarCraft. Wow. The Ling gets in. What does it see? You saw an upgrading tech lab, and I think at this point, even if it was like a Hellbat push, Kira understands. It's better to just have more Hellions than bother with Hellbats. Whoa, whoa, whoa! DRG entirely select all army to get the Liberator, but is that actually going to end up hurting Kira more? No. Somehow... Well, looks like the Liberator was... Somehow, nobody really takes damage. Kira got into the mineral line. DRG entirely out of position, but Kira gets out with 3 kills and most of his Hellions. That was the most anticlimactic Hellion run by I think we could ever have. Alright, so you still got the Hellions. You know what they say, 2 Hellions alive is worth 1 Hellion dead. Unless that Hellion killed like 12 drones, in which case it didn't. And so really just some simple math here. Oh, that's some more. They're getting more. Well, get the text, get the TI-82 back out. Okay, so how many? You get 12 drones for 8 Hellions. It could have been better.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
It was very Keeping the Hellions alive for Hellbats to combine with a Marine push is usually the preferred choice at this stage, since the Zerg already has so many drones. But DRG's only at 66 now. In fact, he's got a lair gun, but his Baneling nest just finished, which is a bit of a mistake, as Baneling speed is going to be so far out. The Marines just jam themselves into the corner. No Banelings means they can gun down dozens of Lings before the Queens kick them off their lawn. Oh, that... DRG needs those Banelings. Start speed. Cure. Slides his way around the 4th. How many Lings? He's killed 42 Lings now. And DRG is not very comfortable. He's building a few more drones, but Cure's already at 70 SCVs and building a 4th command center. The creep is looking good, but Cure looking to chop it off right at the front. Okay, the knitting crew does eventually drive away the drops, but scan, Marines stimming through, oncologist Terran, and good, he gets surrounded. Well, actually Marines are very good, as DRG is continually learning. Okay, he hasn't yet hit that 100 Ling marker. Jimmy, can we... Yeah, alright, well, we're getting there. About as quickly as you ever can. Transfuses, saves 1 queen, buys some time, another queen. Cure, surprised at how long he's being allowed to micro Marines. Baneling speed finally finishing up, but Cure's kind of had the run of the place. Though, the creep still looking pretty good. Cure macroing his heart out at home, which is usually where you do it, but it just seemed like the thing to say at the end there. Yeah, he's gonna max out with 2-2 under 10 minutes. And right now, DRG is stuck on Ling Bane. He doesn't even have a Hydra done. That's it. It's just Ling Bane. And if the Terrans actually... this feels like... Well... those Marines are not feeling as good now. But, overall, Cure, big picture, he's looking very strong. That's a lot of... He's got right now 58 Marines, 4 tanks, 9 medevacs, a deadly push. +2, done across the board. DRG desperate to bring things together, but I fear he does not have the numbers. Yeah, that is... Well, the Banelings are closing in. He's off a creep. The tanks finding the targeting. Splits behind the tanks. And look at the supply. 46 more Zerglings on the way. And Cure still has plenty Marines. You can make like 25 more Marines a minute, so yeah, it's getting more and more difficult. This feels like a bit of a false start here for DRG, unfortunately. I mean, some good bane lane connections, and the creep has been pushed back to the base, though. Coming off a creep, he's just going to abandon the base. He does have the hatchery in the bottom left. It's not over here. It's not over yet. Hive on the way. Hydra's a committed attack on the planetary. While most of Kira's forces are across the map, you gotta let the banelings through. He's actually target firing the Banes, which I'm not entirely convinced was the ideal choice, but here we are. 13 SCVs go down with it. Kira actually supply block, can't remax out. About as close as gonna get for DRG. The Marines stand their ground. And there is far too much firepower. The banelings can't even get close. Kira just A-moving his Marine line. And DRG is forced to tap it out. Well, that was not great for DRG there. That was a pretty standard, solid opener from both sides, but DRG fumbled it a little. And Kira, with the most generic build you could it's a Marine, it's Reaper into some Hellions, decent amount of Hellions, a Viking, and then Marines and tanks with 3 CCs like that. That is the build you take home to show your parents you're doing a good job. Okay? Yeah, that's the build you put on your resume. Like, I can pull this one off in 10 minutes or less. And then your parents are like, is that a good thing? Is it better? Maybe. Yes, it's better. Okay. So Kira up 1-0. That did not look very close. But DRG. Well, you know what we haven't seen is anyone really trying to punish the 3cc. And this is partially because Terran has so many options to scout. Like, you got Reaper Hellion, which is constantly poking and sometimes jumping into the main. You've got literally map hacks built into your orbital. You can scan anywhere on the map. It's very hard to sneak something, especially in the early game, on a competent Terran player. Cure, not usually one to forego scouting. Occasionally you'll get like a Maru who's like, my build order's so perfectly precise that this one SCV not mining 69 more minerals really screws everything up. And then they die to 3 roaches. But like, overall, Cure not... That's why Cure is at this level. He's just middle of the road, relatively consistent, despite what I said about him winning. I think a lot of players try to outplay him, is what happens. They're like, I'm better than him. And Kier's like, okay then. And just calmly builds up that Marine tank army and trundles across the map. Reaper, time for the most inconsequential but exciting part of the first 5 minutes of your average Terran versus Zerg. Will the Reaper kill... Well, let's start with anything. And then we'll move on to anything but Zerglings. Alright. Well, DRG made 6 lanes. I mean, he really doesn't want to deal with this. 4 to 6 is usually the number. Well, the queen, but not going to get the creep tumor. Looks like he got a kill. Did he get a Zergling? I guess so. Alright, he got a Zergling. Did not delay the 3rd, or the creep tumor, or kill a drone, but he got a Zergling. And now he knows. Now he knows that we're playing the same game again. Alright. Cure. Adding Hellions. He's got his 3rd CC on the way. He put it... He tucked it into his base. A nice CC in the pocket there. Trying to at least pretend like it's not a 3CC, but there aren't even any overlords. Wow, DRG didn't even bother putting an overlord on the little pervert pillar here. He has novice. Not even bothering. He's just assuming Cure is going to play super standard macro. He doesn't want to lose Ovies to Vikings, and his assumptions are very correct. It is exactly the same thing. So only having one OV on the map minimizes your potential losses. I like how DRG is just, like, you hedge your bets. If there's a 1 in 5 chance that Cure... Whoa, that was quite a jump. If there's a 1 in 5 chance they're cheesing you, but like a 4 in 5 chance... Oh. Alright, so there's a Zergling in the main, which, in case there was any doubt, this kind of defeats the whole purpose of, you know, hiding the third command center. When microing 2 Hellions means you let a Zergling into your base. So, yeah, DRG knows everything now. He's confirmed all of his suspicions. It's not going to get any better for him. Like, he has the most possible time to react to what this is. He's got double Evo on the way. He's looking, and now this is going to surprise everyone for a lot of Zerglings and Banelings. Double Evo before Lair means he wants an upgrade lead and to make hundreds of Zerglings. Might I say thousands. Let's hope, for DRG's sake, you hope he doesn't get there. But 1-1 starts before Cure even starts his engineering base. That's how quick we're going here. Of course, this is going to leave a significant window where DRG doesn't have a Baneling nest, and more importantly, Baneling speed, which also gives +5 HP. But when your Zerglings can actually kill Marines, that becomes less of an issue. Alright, the Viking. Well, the Hellions trying to come in. Cure testing his luck. There's a Liberator yet again. There was a Liberator last game that did get killed pretty early. Uh-oh. There's no Spore. And then the natural. Well, this is annoying. This is also, I'm not, okay. Cure. Dodge, up, dip, dive, and dodge. The Hellions managed to meander their way through, and 15 kills between them and the Liberator. Wow. Yeah, he just kind of builds a couple more Hellions and goes. Like, a lot of players, if they build more than 6 Hellions, will just go Hellbats. But Cure understands that Hellbats are terrible and a waste of time and money. So instead, he just builds a couple more Hellions. And like, did you build enough Lings? No. I'm gonna siege up these rocks over here. Make sure no jumperlings, mate. Also, this is so your Liberator, if you're a F2 enthusiast, which Cure has been known to be, as well as if a Queen happens to get a shot off or something, it won't bounce the Liberator somewhere. Yeah, that was the least committed 8 Hellions. But Cure still manages. He's still building Hellions. He's like, you know, didn't do so bad. I mean, Hellbats used as meat shields, because they're technically biological somehow, for Marines is not necessarily a terrible choice, especially since he needed the armory anyways at this point. And that will exploit the double Evo chamber lack of Banelings. They're now being added on, but Baneling speed just started yet again. 14 more seconds, 10 seconds, you know, as time works. On 1-1 for Cure, and that'll even up the upgrades. Oh god. Oh wow. Well, I blame the Hellbats, personally. The Hellbats didn't get in the way and take up all this space in the medevac. I think most of those Marines would have got out. But instead, classic Hellbat move. Screwing over the Terran. Yeah. And against 1-1 Lings, yeah, there's not enough. Well, finally, Mutas! I didn't even see the Spire building. I wasn't paying attention. Will Cure suspect it? 8 Mutalisks. Even before starting 2-2. The focus here is on having the Zerglings and Banelings to hold the early pushes, and then the Mutalisks to be able to take down the medevacs. And you know what plays into the Mutas' what we're gonna call appendages, hand equivalents, is when you go Hellbats. Because Hellbats, one of the many things they can't do is shoot up. So having them as any investment means the Marine count is not particularly high. And the mutas just take it out. I'm on a campaign against Hellbats here. I think the best buff to Terran would be removing Hellbats, personally. That way they couldn't accidentally or intentionally build them anymore. And then the Terran win rate would go up at least 5%. Alright, the mutas. I mean, the sensor tower is pretty helpful. People don't build enough sensor towers. Kier understands the value. Just having that little bit of extra reaction time. He's a very realistic player. Sometimes you need those extra couple seconds, especially against something that's like a flying rat. Come on. You need that vision. Kier doing his best. He's still, despite getting shut down on those early attacks, look at the production tab, though. We got a Thor. We got the planetary at the 4th. We got +2/+2 drilling claws, +1 mech armor, some widow mines on the way. DRG, what does he have? He's got a dozen or so Mutalisks, and he's poking and prodding at sensor towers. He's still going to need to beat this army, and that is going to be the struggle. It is a very Wings of Liberty-esque struggle of, well, the Terran has kind of locked themselves down, and I'm stuck with these mutas and no hive. So that means he's going to have to smash an army out of Cure and then rebuild whatever he can, because it probably won't destroy the whole army. That's just kind of the wave defense of Mutaling Bling. Oh, he's trying to dance around the Widowmine. Cure with the spicy F2. You can tell on the minimap. Oh wow, DRG. Oh, there's a Widowmine. Ooh, and a Thor. A tsunami of splash damage in the air. Well, Thor is here. The mutas flying over the reinforcements. How many banelings? Only 18. DRG building every bane he can. There's almost no creep on this side of the map, though. The banelings rolling through so far. A couple Hellbats have tried to tank mutas, flanking from the back. But Thor is still the biggest part of this issue. There's a few Widow Mines at the back. DRG splits off, dealing with it. More mines. Get a hit. Thor goes down, but the Marines behind it. Another Widow Mine. Widow Mine's unburrowed. Driven back. Another Thor. Oh, and Cure doesn't stop coming, and he don't stop coming. Another Thor. The medevac still intact. Most of the mine cleared up, but DRG desperate to rebuild. He's sitting at approaching 1,000 APM. Half that in average. Trying to take out the Thor. What a save! What a save! He manages to maneuver it by. The Thor, just the bait here. Oh, gets another pickup. Where are the reinforcements, Cure? The Marines have arrived. The Mutaslings and Blings have to back off. The Marauders just kind of plinking away at whatever they can get a hold of because the Mutas are distracted, and Cure grinds him down. Well, a little bit more drawn out. But Cure just showed probably the best demonstration. The best demonstration of why mutas struggle is even when you have the space for them, by the time they get across the map, the economy is so good and the army count is high enough that they can defend and pressure simultaneously. So Cure with the solid macro play. DRG tried something different. I will say the mutas seem like they did better. I like it. Let's explore this some more. What do you think, DRG, in Game 3 on Blackburn? Nope, DRG did not win that game. I should have known he did make mutas. Yeah, and Cure is a simple man. He's like, I could micro Marines, but instead I could do a beautiful Thor dance. The Thor just picks up into the medevac, drops back down. Poetry. Pool first. Gas? No. Low ground. It's going to be... Maybe you won't SCV scout quick enough, and I'll be able to delay your expansion slightly. Pool first. And also an anti-2 Rex. Because, I mean, look at where the Overlord's going. He's actively microing it, looking for barracks. It's a Korean Terran up 2-0 in TVZ. I would love to know the lifetime with and without Maru percentage of 2 Rex in this position. I think with Maru, it's over 50%. Without Maru, it's like 30. Yes, Maru has played that many games. He could probably skew the statistics that much on his own. And it's 6 lengths. Ooh. And Cure didn't SCV scout. Oh, Cure! Complacent on his throne. Match point on the map where the Reaper doesn't come straight across. Oh, Cure. Not doing his due diligence. And that means the command center will likely be canceled. This is best possible case scenario here. Oh God. And then the Lings get in. The thing is, I'm not actually sure if that's good or not. Because if all 6 Lings were hitting the CC, I think Kira would have to cancel it. But now that it's only 3 Lings, the Lings, you know what? I think Kira just failed his way into success. I'm not 100% confident it wasn't intentional, but it didn't look intentional that he let the Lings in. Thing is, 6 slow Lings is not that much to do. And then he just slaps down another command center. Okay. Well, I built up some money there. How much did... He saw the expansion with the Reaper, correct? Yes. And since he saw the expansion, that means he knows there was no gas behind this. At least not particularly quickly. And if there's no gas, then the only thing he can build are queens and slow Lings. Which means good luck. Oh, no, Cure, okay. Let's not get crazy here. You know how small that creep tumor is to click on? Come on. Taking a look around. He's just gonna do the same thing? Well, if it ain't broke. He had to adjust slightly. But otherwise, we've got continued Hellions, a tech lab on the racks, gonna build a Viking. He's just getting back to that baseline. This time, though, DRG is gonna have less creep, less queens. Not by much, but pull first means less hatches. As quickly as. Oh, the Bubula. The OV, already the slowest thing in the game. Oh, the Viking deals with it. Reaper Hellion. It's the same build. Oh my god. Like, he's got a Liberator to follow it up. Now give me 2 more racks here. And then 2 engineering base. Can you do that for me? Okay, micro first, and then give me those racks here.
Their use is chilling for 5 months.
What? Oh, Vikings. Give me those racks, Cure. We got 400 mineral. Cure. He's microing, okay? It happens. There we go. And 2 more gases and 2 NG base. Hey, I knew the payoff would be worth it. Yes, I was just banking up for my production increase. I'm getting now everything else. And then he just runs in with that, like, it's almost cliche now. And then what? He just let him leave? DRG had the legs. He disrespects the queens, runs by, gets nothing, and then DRG just holds his legs back. Well, this time Kira's gonna have a significant upgrade advantage, but very key difference. Baneling speed. DRG knows Kira's weakness. This is the first time Baneling speed has been such a priority. He's been trying to get the upgrades, he's actually been slacking on the Bane speed. But Baneling speed quickly, I think, is definitely a more reliable option than trying to out-upgrade a Terran. This is a creeping grid out pretty well here. Kira, DRG's got a nice amount of drones. Kira only had 56 SCVs. So DRG has gotten away with a lot. Well, he hasn't lost a bunch of drones to random Hellions. So there's that key difference. Alright, the Ling's looking for the wraparound. Not particularly cost-effective here. But he's had enough of these Hellions. Kira just slaps down a 4th CC at the gold. Oh wow. DRG just, you know, chilling. He's got things to do. There's a lot to cover with Zerg. Alright, here come the first 2 medevacs. Combat shield, +1/+1, finishing up. DRG not that far behind. Are there Bane? Did he build any? He has a few Banelings. Okay, that's all you need. Gonna make sure those Banes come in. A little bit of an awkward angle, but Cure snaps them up. Angling towards the north. DRG surprisingly not tracking him down. Some Lings on the Chew Toy Depot, working as intended. Marines still all intact, jumping to the other side of the golden minerals. Cure finishes his 4th command center at the gold. Oh, the micro. On the other side of the minerals now. What a twist. Alright, just comes down and picks up. Gets out with all the Marines. The 1 medevac is bruised. Meanwhile, though, DRG is not sitting back, just building Links and Banes. Immediate start to the hive. 8 minutes, 30 seconds he kicks that off. Alongside 89 drones. I don't know exactly. Well, I guess what changed is that Kira didn't kill like a dozen drones at a key time for no reason. That is a key change. Where in the previous games, his mid-game was slowed down by the fact you have to rebuild, use the larva in order to rebuild those drones, let alone the minerals. Okay, the Lings all want a piece of these rocks, and surprisingly, not all of them can get one. Takes them down. The Queen's trying to spread the creep out, which is... He's done quite a great job so far. A single Whittle mine. Oh, the target fire is mostly there, but then gets hit by his own mine. Almost got that down. Still looking for drops, but DRG just feeling a lot stronger here. Who would have thought not losing a bunch of drones would help a lot? Those Widow Mines will now be cleaned up, surprisingly and dangerously late. The medevacs getting driven off the map. No Ghost Academy for Cure. Is there a Lurker Den? Well, he's getting Vipers. DRG's getting Vipers. Probably Adrenal Glands up next, but otherwise, no Hive Tech. Marines. The Vipers are a very important point, though. Make no mistake. The Vipers are a huge deal. Especially if it's just mass medevac. Down goes one. Parasitic Bomb, Blinding Cloud, Adrenal Glands on the way. Give me some Ultras, DRG. Lisks and Lings, the order of the day. Doesn't have 2-2 quite done yet. No reason to be fighting through the bubula. Double drop. bit of a questionable positioning. Both sides maxed out. Here, gonna try to make some progress. Has the Hellbats from what was previously, the artist previously known as Hellions. But here come a whole bunch of Banelings. Cure, splitting and stimming. The Banelings are overrunning the front. Widowmine's gonna have to find huge connections. The Widowmine's struggling to fire. One is good. The Banelings crashing through. Marines retreating all the way back towards the natural. Picks up a tank who just was happy to be there. It's just Hydras left over. The refill. A whole bunch of links. Cure still at 150 supply. He actually has more army supply. Because now this is a not-so-fun fact. Every time a Baneling attacks, it dies. And doesn't count in the unit's loss tab. Also important to note. Because otherwise there would be way more Banelings up there. Because technically it fulfilled its purpose. So for some weird quirk of it, it doesn't actually show up there. Ghost Academy. But where's the Lunker Den? Against Widowmine Marine? Range Lurk? I've seen a few DRG series recently. I am not entirely convinced he knows that Lurkers are a unit he can build. I know he's built them, but he loses them so quick, it's like he's allergic. This, against Mass Marine Widowmine, is the time to do so, at least by conventional wisdom. But unconventional... Well, Akira is possibly the most conventional player, so... Here come a whole lot of Banelings, even the FPS dropping alongside the supplies. Microwing back, blinding clouds. Nobody can see anything. The Banelings don't need to see to crash in. Zerglings in the natural. The Ghosts don't have cloak. Hydra's overrunning the rest. The Zerglings actually dragged out of the main, and Cure taps it out under the waves of Zerglings, Banelings, and Hydralists. The Vipers cracked it open. And the Lings spilled through. Well, that's a bit... it's not even really clear what went wrong there. It's just... It never went right for Cure. And that is what happens when you let someone like DRG go. I think another key point was getting the Hive in a timely manner. Cure just not finding anything. It's kind of surprising how much relies on the Hellions just getting a bunch of kills. It didn't really feel like that was a huge game changer, but that is the difference between Game 3 and Games 1 and 2. A very Wings of Liberty difference, by the way. Dude, don't let the Hellions kill like a dozen drones. It's like, I know. Yeah, DRG, but you let the Hellions kill it. I know you know, but... Dude. Alright, Cure. Are we back to the playbook? I mean... I don't think you need to rethink your... Okay, I'm confusing myself by using that word too many times, but I don't think you gotta rethink your entire game plan because of that match. Like, maybe a little less focus on the drops and a little more on the direct pushes. That's the eternal back and forth, right? Like, do you attack with everything, or do you split into... Where are you? Oh, he was scouting for Proxy Rex with the drone. I mean, if you ask a Diamond Leaguer, they'll say always load up into the medevacs, and always, because it's very scary to walk across the map, you load up into the medevacs, and that way nothing can hurt you. And it's like, alright, Byun, but what about if you want to win, though? Yeah, so DRG scouted for Proxy Rex, and Cure is SCV scouting. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah. After that game. I do think Cure actually handled the early Lings about as perfectly as you ever could. Like, if all the Lings had been on the command center, it probably had to it would have had to be canceled. But Kira knew, or fortuitously let the lings in his base and actually minimized his losses. Bite-sized pieces. How many Zerglings can you fit in one bite? That's the question. Oh my god, he almost got a drone! Just the craziest thing that's happened in this series. I mean, that last game was pretty crazy, but he almost got a drone as well. Gonna go for the creep tumor, bounce it. Brenda! Nope! Nope, stop! Stop it. Don't. Come back here! Stop talking to yourself! Sorry, blacked out for a second. The Reaper has done its work as best it can. Oh my god, you won't believe it. It's a third command center before Starport, and then Hellions with one gas. And then a second gas. And then adding the second gas. Sorry, we're microing. One second. And then the second gas. Wow. So Cure has his build. And he's sticking to it. It is another 1-1-1 after the 3CC. Into a Viking and Hellions. I imagine to be followed up with Marines. Oh, he's gonna dive in with the first two Hellions, though. How spicy. Like Rose Zergling. Liberator? He has just enough gas, not minerals. Well, both are required. Yep, this is the build. Write this one down. It's actually quite simple. The question will be for DRG. The Baneling speed rush seemed to work. The quicker Baneling speed allows you to actually stop the medevacs. Instead of deflecting them, the Banelings mean they just can't come close. Yes, it's a little costly, but when you go Zerglings, you run the risk of them just having too many Marines, which is never great. And now, I guess the only question before then is, are the Hellions going to get in and kill a dozen drones? Baneling nest built before lair finishes. Good. Viking in the main. Getting a little ambitious. And Cure, he's looking for an opportunity. He loves those Hellions. Oh, wow. Really mixing things up. He puts a Liberator at the third. Ooh, wow. Crazy. Meanwhile, the Zergling's looking for a surround. Does he have enough lanes? Yeah. Okay, well, the Liberator shut down. The Ling successfully boxing out the Hellions. The Hellions now not enough HP between them to be a real threat unless they can find somewhere where there is no defense. Which, there's actually nothing at the third here. DRG. The Overlord's gonna see it. Okay. Oh my. Well. 3. It's not so bad. I don't. Oh no! No! Damn it! God damn it, DRG! What the fuck? You had one job! Well. Stop! Stop! Well, that's not good. That's all he had to do, he could have waited 3 more seconds, and he would have been fine. He would have been Gucci, fam. 3 seconds! But no. That was, he lined them up. He mineral stacked them. He literally packaged them perfectly. He would have taken less damage if he just kept the drones in his mineral line. What year is it? Well, so the key part of this is not so much the mineral cost of the drones, though that is significant. It's the An eye for an eye has left the whole world blind. Well, I mean, the drones were still more painful, but that was not great for Cure. That was... The thing is, Marines are a single investment. You build the Marines, they die, you build more Marines. They don't mine minerals, right? They don't get any better. So, it is a lot easier to replace 16 Marines than 16 drones. But, also, wow. DRG is still reeling. He had to pause his production for quite a time to rebuild those drones. He's now at 84, which is a very comfortable number if he can hold on to everything here. Kira just being a sportsman about it. And I was making fun of this earlier, but here we are. He picks up in the medevacs and heads for the main. At least threatening it. The Widowmines will burrow. He's just gonna... Yep, there you go. A Zergling spots the 4th base happening. Infestation pit. Let me see that hive, DRG. Thank you. 2-2 on the way. I think things are evening out because DRG has now stabilized on 90 drones. He's also got 2-2 on the way and not too far behind Cure. The hive has started and it shouldn't die to this drop, but we'll see. There's plenty of banelings in the mix here. There's no Widowmines to turn the tides dramatically. Meanwhile, the Marines, the Queen's on an awkward side of this story. Okay, that was pretty sad. The medevacs at the back. Banelings looking for an opportunity. Widowmines do okay. Oh, there's another one. Cure, not quite finding the angle. As DRG is acutely aware of where he's going. The creep helping out a lot. Despite the fact it's getting driven back, it still gives so much vision. Nearly to the... essentially to the edge of it. You can see with those creep tumors. So right now, Kier can't move very far without DRG getting wind of it. Oh, God. With drops making their way back in. The production tab's getting quite dramatic. Creep tumors rebuilt. His drop. Only losing a few. Groove spines. Seismic spines. Everyone's spines. Besides spine crawlers. Oh, the Marauders kind of boxing in the Marines. The Banelings finding juicy, wholesome, dank connections. +2/+2, not even done yet. That was about the best hit you could find. Meanwhile, the Lurker upgrades are closing in. Cure still has a lot of supply pinned right now. That's a little awkward. A lot of supply kind of stuck in and with medevacs. Though DRG scrambles back, and that allows another drop. The Widowmines continuing to connect. The Hydra's losing focus here. A few drones down. There's like... Okay, this is happening. The main fight, though, is where the focus needs to be for DRG. Cure doing everything he can to drag it away. Meanwhile, alright, okay. Units are coming from every which way, heading towards the 4th or 5th or whatever you want to call it, a DRG. Closing the distance some more. The Hydras need something in front. They need some help. A few more Banelings finish. Stim has done a number on a lot of these Marines. More Zerglings trickling through. Upgrades are even for now. The medevacs are nearly out of energy and some of them are out of HP. Meanwhile, the drop at the back. Parasitic Bomb is something on a medevac. DRG starting to crumble. So many Marines are making their way across the map. The trades are just not the best investment right now. They just continued Widowmines trying to drag it. Is a little too fast with the Zerglings. Hydras holding their ground. The Widowmines trigger on the larva, which is not the ideal. And 17 drones down. So DRG needs to replace those. Is now remembering he has lurkers, which would have been very helpful, you know, like that entire fight ago. He's got both lurker upgrades, so like I guess we'll try these. Yeah, they're pretty good against things that start with M. Does he have enough time to save his most important base right now? He dunks the lurkers down. Widowmine connects, but only the splash damage. Is there a Ghost Academy from Cure? Thank you. This is awkward. Meanwhile, BioArmy just goes over to the right side. There's one lurker, but that one will be dealt with. Blinding Cloud is a choice. Parasitic Bomb. Oh, wow. Parasitic Bomb! Okay. Whoa, terrible, terrible damage. Meanwhile, the BioArmy on the left side. DRG is scrambling, but until there are ghosts out, the lurkers can at least hold some of this. Meanwhile, more Widow Mines. Oh, a lot of Widow Mines. A whole lot of Widow Mines. Gonna need some lurkers over here. Now, the Widow Mines burrow a little, kind of. Alright, okay. DRG. Snapping this up. Meanwhile, though, Lunkers. Dunk in. Where's the pair of bombs? Come on. There's like no anti-air. He slaps him out. Doesn't have the energy for anything else. Another queen down. With that AlphaX at Widow Mines. Oh, it's getting messy. Ghosts on the way, though, which is putting a timer on all of this. DRG has not been able to counterattack. That is the one thing we're missing. The most important part of this is you got to get something done with the lurkers before they start building a critical mass of ghosts. He's bought himself time, but because the lurkers came out when he was under attack as opposed to the other way around, means not that much of... Oh, that Widowmine's super annoying. I don't think this is actually technically a wall, but it's a funnel for the Zerglings to come through. Slices through the mines. There's still this drop back here. You just use the parabomb? Why not? He picks up. Oh, what? Cure! Very Cure move. Full Titanic. Well, DRG's at 66 drones, 120 army supply. He's not made that much progress on the other side, though. 6 ghosts at a time, and nothing else. His entire production tab is terrifying for Zergs. A Blinding Cloud doesn't stop the snipes, and also doesn't do much. He Blinding Cloud, and now his Hydras can't shoot. Well, gets a ghost. Enough Hydras and Lings will prevent the snipes. I don't know about this positioning, though. Trying to come up a ramp. Couple lurkers. I mean, that's an idea. Oh, well, coming up a ramp into a concave has never been a particularly cost-effective maneuver. There's one lurker, cleaned up, Widowmine even involved. Well, DRG, he didn't die, but that's about all we can say for it. Cure has held the line. Yes, the line has moved a little, been erased and redrawn, but he hasn't had to give up any bases, a significant amount of economy, or production. DRG is definitely not able to say the same. That is, he's got 16 ghosts. He went from 0 to 16 ghosts in like 2 minutes. Oh my. Alright, the firing squad, but not exactly the right angle here. And he used the cloak, which takes energy, which means he can't really snipe that much anymore. So he kind of, a bit of a false start there. What did your mom say about turning your cloak on and off, alright? We're not getting you any new batteries for your game cloak. No, we don't have Mobius Reactor anymore. Okay, nobody makes those. That was removed. Meanwhile, oh my god, the EMPs are late. The parasitic bomb hits. Otherwise, though, the EMPs do land on the Vipers. The snipes are... Well, where's the detection? He's just fighting. He's just fighting with the ghost. He doesn't... Okay, he's trying to... there's no energy for cloak. I mean, for snipe here. He's just fighting. And apparently that's enough. Well, you can definitely hear the ghost dying, but once again, Cure still has an incredible economy. I say that, but DRG is actually back to 84 drones. And this is why it seems like he's holding for now. Another scan, 2 lurkers aren't going to cut it. Like, you can build whatever you want now. Parasitic Bomb, Blinding Cloud. Parasitic Bomb's pretty good. Blinding Cloud was pretty good, too. Another round of Hydraslings and Banes. He's run out of lurkers, and Cure has pretty much run out of ghosts, though. Well, it's getting more sad by the minute. It's gone from, like, epic, huge cinematic battle to, like, normal campaign. We now got, like, 12 Lings, 3 Hydras, 3 Banes against, like, some Marines and Marauders that probably should be in rehab instead of still fighting. Overall, though, the Medevac's the real heroes here. Surviving through most of this, running out of energy, they're working so hard. And God, it's falling apart though. DRG, nothing left. 2 Gs. Oh, Cure brings it together in a scrappy slugfest. It wasn't clean, but it was effective. At the end of the day, Cure is the better player. He's got his build, and he's sticking to it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Brawlers Club match. I hope you enjoy more in the future. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. Go this video, this one, or this one. Wait, does it show up here? Anyways, yes. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.